Hi there. So have you ever been looking for a quick card, one that you can make up within minutes? Welcome to Stamping with Diane. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up Demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you a quick and simple card to make with the new Peaceful Poppy suite. I'm only going to be using a stamp set out of that suite today, but here's the card that we're actually going to make. And I'm going to show you how simple it really is. So what you're going to need to make that card is the Painted Poppies Stamp Set. We're also going to need some Poppy Parade, and it's cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4, and I've already gone ahead to do that. You're going to need some basic black. It's 2 1/4 by 4. Oh no, it's actually 2.5 by 4 1/4. Piece of Whisper White, and it's cut at 2 1/4 by 4. And then you need some scrap white paper, but it has to at least be 1.5 inches wide. We're going to be using some of this black ribbon, and it's a scalloped edged ribbon. Now this ribbon was in the holiday catalog, and it is retiring, but right now it's on the discounted retired list, so it's actually on sale. So that's a really good bonus for you. You're also going to need some Memento ink. We're going to use some smoky slate, and we're also using the Poppy Parade ink pad. And a new punch that is in the new mini. It's called Label Me Fancy, and it has slots in there that you can actually put slots either on this side or on this side by just putting it back in there. So this is going to be a really versatile stamp set. So let's get started. So I'm going to take this piece of the Whisper White, and I've mounted the stamp already, this one here, and we're going to have to stamp it a couple of times. So we're going to do that with the Memento ink. And the way I've got it set up is I just line this edge along the edge at the bottom. And then I'm just going to stamp it again. Now, if you wanted to, you could just put it in the middle. That would be fine as well. But I didn't want it that way, so. Oops. And there. And see, by the way I've got it lined up, I know exactly where it is there. Now, one thing that you could do to make this, step this up a little bit, is you could go in and use your blends on here. But on the stamp set itself, it has some pretty neat little blotches on here. So we're actually going to use this blotch there to do the coloring. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my Poppy Parade ink pad. And we're just going to stamp. Now you want to make sure that you do turn this stamp. I think I'll even put one up there. And then we're going to go in and we want to make sure that we get this clean so that we don't contaminate the next stamp pads. So I've got that cleaned off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the smoky slate on there as well. Now if you want to use different colors on this card base, of course you would just use different colors from there. So I'm just going ahead. I'm just going to go like this. And see, it kind of gives a really neat sort of effect off there with just a simple stamp. Just clean that up again. And then for the rest of the stamping, I actually took the Happy Birthday from the other Poppy set, and I'm sorry, but I will list it down below what it came from, and it's from the other bundle, the stamp set from the bundle from the suite. And like I say, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but it has some beautiful sentiments in it, and of course the dies that go along with are really nice dies to make up poppies. So I'm just stamping that in the middle. I'm just going to take my punch and punch that out. Now, of course, I'm going to have to cut this a little bit. Just going to grab these scissors here. Just cut this off a little bit here. And just going to slide this in and center this. that looks about right. And now we can go. And one other thing that we're going to stamp is, I don't know if you can really see it on here, but I do have the Poppy Parade. And I have just taken this particular stamp set. You could use any stamp set actually from here. And I'm just going to randomly stamp this on the background. You could use Versamark as well. Remember, when you're doing something like this, you want to kind of go off a bit of the paper. You want to turn your stamp pad or turn the paper. And what that does is just gives a varied look, and it doesn't look like it's all done in a row. So. There we go. Now we're just going to layer this onto here. Grab my snail. There. And then we're going to layer this onto the front of the card as well. I think I'll do it approximately there. I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and I don't have my big white ones here with me, so I'll just use these small ones. I'm going to take them off. I take your pick tool. It's just so much easier. Oops. And of course, it would be much better to do it with the bigger dimensionals because they cover more space, that's for sure. But the small ones are great too. And then I showed this the other day where you just take your pick tool and just pull the backing off of those. I'll put that right about there. Like I said, this other stamp set, and I will list it down below what other stamp set that I've used on here. It is in the Poppy Parade, the Painted Poppies suite. And then I just took my ribbon and just tied it in a knot. Like, how simple is that, right? The key with doing bows and anything like that is pulling it tight. A lot of people leave their stuff very, very loose. And by leaving it loose like that, what you're doing is you're allowing it, and you've loosened it up enough that it will come undone. So I'm just going to do this. And we're just going to put that on with a glue dot. And that doesn't look quite even, so let's just trim that off just a bit more. And I'm going to go in with my glue dots. And I had this out for make and take, so I know that the glue dots are all over the place on there. Just going to take that like that. And put it down right there. So there's the card. Pretty simple, right? And it didn't take very long. So can you think of different ways that you could actually step this card up? There's lots of different things that you could actually do with it to step it up to make it so that it's a little bit more complex to do. Now, if you need any of these supplies and live in Canada, I would love to be your demonstrator. You can shop online, and I do have a hostess code. This one's good only until the end of December. There'll be a brand new one. But you can always see what my new hostess code is by going to my blog, Stampin' with Diane. And if you do put an order in online and do use my hostess code, I have a tutorial that I am giving away. For this month, it's still Let It Snow. And for next month, it's going to be all about love and Valentine cards and that sort of stuff. So, but for any online order, I am giving those tutorials out. So leave a comment below. I really do appreciate that. Let me know if you can think of any other ways that you could step this card up. Also, if you could give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. And also down at the very bottom down here is subscribe to my video. I'd love for you to subscribe to it. I really appreciate that. So anyways, thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.